Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tales podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we are live on a Tuesday. Sorry, get my days thrown off. I had to move around my personal training thing a couple times in the last couple of weeks, and I'm so used to it being Wednesday that I've been thinking all day today was Wednesday, but it's actually Tuesday.
Yep, you're one day off.
But that's all good. That's all good. We are here. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. The official weapon of the show is
Folding chair.
and the
Yes.
unofficial sport is
Ball.
a bullet ball. Extreme. You can always watch our show live on crowdcast.io, and you can get in there and check out the chat room and interact with us. We listen to music before we start the show, so sometimes people get put on the songs they haven't heard yet. Even though I'm 45, I still listen to some of the young new people music, so sometimes
some bops. I know a lot of old folks like the Shield Nation, but like, no, child, they be having some bangles.
Yeah, so I like to curate a little bit, so maybe you can get in there and every once in a while you see in the chat room, who is this? What's this? What they listening to? So, it's a good way to get put on and become part of the community. Okay, let's just get into the show.
Okay.
Stuff is happening and there's lots to talk about. But of course, the first thing I have to ask, Karen, you have any banter?
No.
All right. Karen has no banter, and I do have a little bit of banter.
I think I do. The more and more I think about it, because I was talking to you about something yesterday, and I want to bring that up as a random thought. But go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, my biggest.
And it's banter.
Oh,
not random thoughts. That's totally different.
Wink, wink. I understand. I'm sorry. Two different
concepts. We would never want to confuse the audience. Anyway,
we would never want them to think.
How's your day going?
Them. My day is going good. My thing is, I've realized when we're out and about, and I'm pretty sure this is possibly happening all across the country. All of a sudden, a lot of storefronts and shopping centers, the places are just gone. It's like a Sally's just gone. It's like a Taekwondo place just gone. And like several other places you look and you see like 2 or 3 spots just all of a sudden used to be kind of staples of whatever that shopping center is. Some are big, some are small, and in between they're just gone. And I have a theory, and it's just me, that a lot of these places are just raising rent up to the point where people go, I'm not paying that. Whatever you charging me, I can't pay that. I can't afford that. Some go out of business, and I think some just relocate to other sides of town when the rent is cheaper. But I just kind of just been realizing that. And it's not normally like your chains. It's normally like your random nail salon or like with that hot dog place that closed on the other side of town.
JJ Red Hots?
Yes, it's literally been there for decades.
That's an interesting theory that it's a rent raising thing. I guess more than one thing could be true. I haven't read much about rent rates going up for brick and mortar stores being the reason a lot of closing. I've just always assumed it's just the effects of the pandemic.
That's true too.
PPP money done been ran out. Even after the pandemic, people are not returning to the same volumes that they were.
Yes, as far as like the extra stuff. Yeah,
and many people got used to shopping online, so that for like while I make it a habit to try to help my local stores and local people out, not and I'm not one of these like, it's a progressive cause for me. If I can remember it, or sometimes I really honestly just like to get out the house, I try to go hit up the local spots. And I'm trying to do it more now that I'm kind of out of the pandemic mode. And I understand some people will never leave it, which is another reason I think these businesses are closing.
Yeah. Just have a particular content. I remember one Chinese place we went to, the person even said like, I'm glad you coming here and not like PF Chang, just out the blue. And I was like, I could see, like you say, the business just dying, because that place used to always be jumping. I'm talking about like always be packed.
And so we've been going out a little bit more to places than we were going, obviously, during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think some of the stuff is us seeing places closed because we haven't been over there in a while. Like we
True
went to
too.
Shing Ramen and we haven't been there in a long
Long
time.
time, right?
And so, that Libretto's Pizza is closed, that hot dog place was closed, the Chinese restaurant was closed, and now it's a Taekwondo place or something.
Mm-hmm.
Could be the rent because that is a strip mall area, and so a bunch of places leaving at the same time. Absolutely could be. I saw the CVS was even closed over there.
Yeah, and also I think, like you said, it's a combination of things. I think this has to do and is connected to the pandemic. I think for some of them, they may have kept their rents flat, and then was like, "Hey, we trying to get our money back."
I don't know. This is like you're
Oh,
creating
that's
an
my theory.
entire
Yeah.
theory. This is like some kind of head canon stuff, and I can't say you're wrong or right. It could just be something that's not being covered enough in our media.
Yes, that might be causing this issue. Like
Yeah.
you say, some journalists hadn't been like, "Hey, why are all these places closing?" and actually done the grunt work to actually find out the root cause of why. That makes sense. But that's just my thesis, my theory.
Nothing wrong with a theory.
Open your third eye. Open your third eye. Open your third eye.
And something else, and I think I said that because, like you said, it would be like several places in the thing. That's why I said rent. But also, I'm just not thinking about this. A lot of them may have been online and start, but like, hey, why are we doing it? Let's do like a pop up shop or somewhere where we're in this space. We're quote unquote sharing this space. People can still order from us, but we don't have to have the whole brunt of the rent and all that stuff. You know, them pop up places we go to where you go and there's like 45 different restaurants in the place and everybody ordering from it.
So, I mean, they could have done that. I don't. You mean like Optimus Hall, or are you talking about the? Oh, so you're talking about the places where you can, it's all takeout only, and then there's like 5 different kitchens in the back and stuff.
Yeah, where they were like, why would we waste our money on brick and mortar when we can just do this?
Well, that's the thing. Some of the places that close aren't even restaurants. So like, I don't think CVS is running out of so that, like I said, it could be a rent thing, and if everything on that area was like closing up, I don't know. I thought it was curious when you said it. I was like, that's an interesting theory. I don't, I have no bearing on it one way or the other.
In 6 months, the Daily gonna do a report, and we'll find out why.
Yeah, just things are moving constantly anyway, so there could be just more than one cause.
Yeah, it's probably multiple things: the cost of goods and services, the cost of labor, the cost of this, the cost of that. Yeah, and all of a sudden, places is like, you know what, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah, and then for labor, there's just even the restaurants that we have gone to, there's not a lot of labor. Like they're almost all understaffed, no matter what, or at least not staffed at what they used to be.
Yes.
So it's got to be a hard way to run a restaurant when we've talked to people who are owners who are like, I had to come in and work as not just the owner, but now I'm working the tables and I'm doing the kitchen.
Yeah, and I'm the bartender. Yes,
and I think also a part of that was that the assumption that many people had was just through the pandemic, and I understand the assumption, but I always kind of push back a little bit when they were like, well, the problem is we're not paying people enough to do these jobs. And I'm like, well, we always weren't paying them enough to do the jobs, period. And you're right, but it's not simply an increased pay equals increased willingness to do that job. And as so many people died and became disabled and stuff like that, I think a lot of people said, well, let me go try my hand at another job, let me go to school, let me find other opportunities. And many people did that, and they're not coming back to waiting tables. And it's still, like, people are now aware on a level they weren't of, transmittable diseases like COVID and flu and stuff.
Right.
And they're like, I was really just out here. Many people that work in that industry now say people are not as nice. And I imagine that would extend to more than just food service, but also just any front facing public a job where you deal with the public. So I think a lot of that stuff is combining to make it untenable for businesses, and combined with, like I said, the online shopping, the increased prices, people having less options. I think it's a bunch of stuff, but at the same time, I think part of it is also people are doing well. And I know people don't like to hear. No one ever likes the sentence on our side anyway. If people are doing well, but the fact is, people have options they didn't have before,
Yes.
and I think there's what do you call it? Not consequences, but um, hmm, I forget what you call it. But when you know, like there's gonna be different results from that, and the results become, hey, I have options, so there's less people doing blank, blank, and blank. So
That's true, and it's and also like you say, a lot of people have like completely just left the industry. They particularly with the service industry or anything like say face front industry, they got hit the hardest. So you have a lot of people that just ain't coming back because they're dead, and you have a lot of people go, I'd rather do something else. And like you say, the general public, some of the general public, they when they was quote unquote was like we back outside, they had the same expectations as pre-pandemic. And so when they got out there, they was like, what the fuck is this? Like, yeah, dog, like it ain't the same. I don't know what you thought this was. Like people died and you coming out here acting like everything is just supposed to be run like normal, and it's not.
and anecdotally, people are saying that that work in the industries, they're saying people aren't tipping.
Yeah, and that goes to every time you get a fucking receipt, tip, 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 tip. People's like, well,
Right.
I can't tip everybody, so everybody across the board tips go down because, like you said, people don't want to look like an asshole when they turn it around. So they was like, well, look, I can't tip you 10% and this person 10% and the CVS 10%, and I'm like, I picked up my own food, I drove my own car, waste my own gas. Now I got to give you 10% for some shit I got to pick up. And so a lot of people are like, no, I'm not going to do it. And it's sad because for a lot of these jobs, they're getting paid per hour. Pay your employees more, hike your rates up by whatever you're gonna hack them up,
Right,
and
but
quit asking for tips.
right, I hear you what you're saying. That's not gonna happen. It's the right solution, but we both know that's not happening. So instead, people that do go out there, people are saying that work in those industries, that those people are giving less than they ever gave.
Right.
So I don't know how you fix all that stuff. So yeah, you can't get people to work for you. Shit costs more. And now you don't have a business.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. I had a couple things. Oh man. There's a gym behind where I used to get my car worked on at NTB before they stopped having mechanics.
Right.
Now
I
it
know.
stands for not today, bitch. That's what
Right.
NTB stands for.
Yes, it does.
Anyway, behind them they have a gym called the Grit House, Haus. And being from the South, I always thought it was a restaurant. And
That's
and
not
every
such a
time I
restaurant.
see the name, it makes me think it's a fancy breakfast brunch spot.
Mhm.
Because like bars and stuff will call themselves Haus house, kind of like people that have fancy beer places call it a beer garden or something like that. And it's supposed to be
Yeah.
like German for some bullshit or like something that
Yeah.
we're like, that's not even how you spell beer, BIER. Like, but it's in America, it's supposed to signify like, oh, we got a fan. And I say, oh, it's like a grit. And I'm just glad that I never went in there looking for grits. Because
Highly disappointed.
it's the opposite of grits. It's workouts in there. It's like I would go in there, we'd both be disappointed with each other. I'd be like, what the fuck? Why y'all name it this shit? And they like, we mean because you got the grit and the grind.
They're like, you're not signing up for a membership? No, I wanted food.
Right. It's the membership. Does it come with brunch?
Right. Because if not, I don't want it.
And then there's another place that took over the Skelly Bark Library called the Leaf Burrito. And Leaf Burrito sounds like a vegan burrito spot to me.
I thought that
But
was
it's actually some sort of garden, I don't know, like lawn care situation.
I remember the first time I was like, well, you got burrito big and bold as shit on the thing. What am I supposed to think?
Yeah, so I just don't like that.
No.
Name your stuff what it is. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Like restaurants get to have fancy, funny names, good, ironic things. The rest of y'all, just you gotta put gym on there. It can't be the
Yes.
Grit House. It gotta be the gym. It can't be the Leaf Burrito if you do lawn care. You gotta call it the Leaf Bag or whatever the fuck it really is. Because I'm not getting burritos, and I don't appreciate you lying to me.
Right. And the thing about the burrito place is atrocious. Is like burrito is like the biggest fucking thing.
Yeah,
So
I took a
guarantee-
picture of it and put it on my social media.
So I guarantee you, somebody walked up in there was like, "Wait a minute, John Deere, the fuck is this?"
Also, speaking of supporting local businesses, I Googled candles near me and went to like a candle store that I had never heard of,
place
where they
is neat.
actually locally like they have, first of all, they have classes where you can learn how to make candles. So I'm gonna definitely sign up to take that class by myself, or maybe I'll
Nope.
take a chick out on a date out there or
A
something
chick?
like
You
that.
mean this chick right here?
It depends on how you play your cards.
This
you
chick
know?
right here? Because ain't no other chick going
Well, it just depends on how you play your cards, Karen.
unless you want to get lit up by that candle.
What kind of threats? Wow, there's a lot of violence coming from over there.
Am jealous.
So I'll probably take a class or whatever, but I just thought it was cool. I don't know if y'all have them in y'all places, but you know what I'm saying? Google candle near me or whatever near me. I just do that sometimes. And it was like a cool little adventure. Like it's in the South End, like this. But now look, it was expensive. But I assume because it's fancy and hand poured and all that shit. Now, normally I just roll up in the Marshalls, hit the candle section, buy everything I can, I feel like get smelling good. And then that, but now I kind of think, oh man, I want to take one of these classes. So I think I'm going to take a candle class at some point. They had incense and stuff in there too. It was like a real cool spot.
They had, because they're so expensive. They was like, hey, you want to get your refills? The refill is a fraction of the price. Like, oh, I've never had a refill place, but I was like, oh yeah, I guess you would do the refills because hey, by the time you bought all the candles, you done invested.
Yeah, I think the place is called Patty Wax. Paddy wax. So
and they were so helpful and friendly.
Yeah, the person in there was very nice, the clerk or whatever. And so yeah, I'll definitely be going back to take that class because I love candles and incense and stuff like that. So I'll definitely be doing that in the future. And then the last thing is the Dallas Mavericks are down 0-2 in the NBA Finals. They're back in Dallas tomorrow night for Game 3. I think everybody's worried because it's like Kyrie hasn't played well. Luka had to get an injection in his back or something because he was playing hurt, and it's looking like the NBA Finals might be a bust with everybody calling for a sweep, and there's nothing interesting about this series. And all I'm saying is, if Jason Kidd, the coach of the Mavericks, wants the NBA to succeed, he must start Caitlin Clark for Game 3 in Dallas. Okay? If you really, truly want to grow the
world to explode.
If you want to grow the game, you got to start Caitlin Clark. Okay? It's idiotic that you don't have Caitlin Clark playing over Kyrie Irving.
To be the number one story in Sports Center.
No tryouts. Don't teach her no plays. Just put her on the court and win a championship. And if you don't win a championship, at least everybody will watch the damn game and fight about it. Because that's really all we want to do is fight about Caitlin Clark.
Yes, sir.
People keep talking about the box office. Bad Boys did great. But what about the movies like Fall Guy? Put Caitlin Clark in Fall Guy, you cowards. Do y'all want people to go to the fucking movies or not? Put Caitlin Clark.
We know the answers.
Put her in everything. Joe Biden, get Caitlin Clark on the ticket.
Yes, get on the ticket.
Make her the vice president. I don't give a fuck. If I was wrong, invite her to the White House. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Jill Biden, I didn't know what the fuck I was thinking.
Jill.
I've never felt so sorry to Jill Biden because Jill Biden said we should invite both. I said, shut the fuck up. They lost. But I was wrong, Jill. You knew something I didn't know. These white people are motherfucking crazy for some Caitlin Clark. Maybe y'all can win the White House in the landslide. I don't know.
You might.
Make Caitlin Clark go to the Trump trials. People might start giving a fuck about this guilty ass nigga having to be in court every other day.
Right.
Send her to Palestine. Maybe she could raise awareness or some shit. Maybe they'd be like, Israel will stop bombing. I don't know what her powers are, but get Caitlin Clark on the motherfucking case because clearly no one cares about shit else in the world right now.
No, they do not.
Yeah. All right. That's it for my banter. Now let's get into the wait, what segment I want to do? You know what? Nah, let's do some LGBTQ news. Let's just do that first.
Let me see what you want to be. You better move your body. You better move your feet. And I want to groove. Show me what's cool. Riding, caring, baby. LGBTQ news. Gonna take it down, but we still around. Feel it. I'm still shining, but we on the rise. Feel it. You can't do what we got to do. Feel it. Feel it. LGBTQ news.
All right, LGBTQ news. GOP candidate demands Brittany Griner gets sent back to Russian prison. First of all, that's not how that.
That's not how that works.
That's not how it works. Republican candidate for Missouri Secretary of State Valentina Gomez, who rages all things weak and gay, is demanding that WNBA player Brittany Griner be sent to rot in a Russian prison because she's an unpatriotic lesbian. Well, that's fitting to be a lot of my friends' bio. I'm sure they appreciate the branding. It's like, oh, we got an official word for this. But honestly, what I think is interesting about her doing this is that Brittany Griner would whoop her motherfucking ass.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, do you understand how tall Brittany Griner is?
Tall as shit.
I promise you don't want to see
most
her.
People.
You must have said this on Zoom.
Of course.
Because it's no way.
You would say that to their face. No.
It's like people really just be saying anything. And it's so sad. She's 6'9". You don't want these problems.
You don't want the smoke.
She's mad that Brittany Griner is going into the Olympics. And because Brittany made the team for Team USA.
Makes sense.
Here's what I think is interesting now. This is really not about Brittany Griner. It's about Caitlin Clark.
That makes sense.
This is this is one of the reasons the Caitlin Clark thing is so.
That makes 100% sense.
This is one of the reasons the Caitlin Clark thing is so polarizing for people, and you find so many black people kind of having that same like energy they have for like. Well, they shit on Taylor Swift because it's not really about Taylor Swift.
Nope,
but
it's about the fans and the other people around, right?
Right. So you end up in this weird place of shitting on a person that really doesn't want this, doesn't covet this, doesn't stand for this.
Didn't ask for it or nothing.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, doesn't stand for it. And so you're sitting there going, I've decided that I don't fuck with this person because of the people that do fuck with them. And so I find it interesting that such a racially it's Christian conservative white nationalist Republican type of people who are trying to make Caitlin Clark a cause. They don't give a fuck about this basketball thing. To be even, if I'm even being frank, even a guy like Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp, I wouldn't take any of those words back about them, their conservative leaning views and stuff like that, and what they covet. But they're making her a cause. They don't care about this game. They don't care about the sport. They don't care about the people playing it. And so it's weird to watch them want to see her get WNBA supremacy when the WNBA is a league of black queer women.
Some shit that you don't care nothing about.
And non-binary people too. You know, I don't want to skip that. But like, this is not the league. And shit, probably some trans men in there too, possibly. I don't know, but because you have to declare some different things and shit, I don't want to start nothing. But y'all know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't the league for, we just want a Christian white lady. First of all, Caitlin's not even giving you all that. But this is what you want as your avatar. So they're trying to find people who made the team so they can be like, Caitlin Clark should be on the team. You need to take this lesbian black off. We're not sending people overseas because of that. And one of the reasons, I'm so glad we're talking about this at this moment. I know I picked it and I'm thinking myself, but this gave me another perspective too to add to my argument for shut the fuck up. Caitlin Clark hasn't earned her spot. Stephen A. Smith and others like him will say the onus is on Team USA to grow the game. This is if you want people to watch the WNBA, you need to send not just the best people, but the most popular, but whatever people, right? Whatever that extrapolates to. But popular kind of is subjective, right?
Yes.
So like Brittany Griner's popular. She's well known.
Mm-hmm.
But are we seeing her? Is the impetus to grow the game when we send her, or we just go, she earned her spot, right? But when you're talking about popularity and ratings and getting other people's approval, you can't do that with the WNBA without completely selling out what the WNBA athletes are about, because that's the opposite of that league. This is the league with Black Lives Matter still on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't popular. That ain't growing the game for everybody.
This is the league where the owner came out. It was like, bitch, you got to get out of here.
Yeah, Atlanta Dream got rid of, forget her name, but the woman who was like a congressperson or something, or a senator, Carly Loeffler or something. Yeah. But they got her out of there by putting that much pressure on her. And if you're saying grow the game, just grow the just, what you're really saying is, I only believe a white woman could be palatable to the rest of the world. What you're really saying is, I guess what I'm saying is, how is that any different than saying stop sending these lesbian big Black women out into there? That's who been winning the rings. Mm-hmm. A bunch of big, strong, LGBTQ people from the WNBA have been going out and spanking the motherfucking world for the last 30 years or so. And you're now like, no, the problem is we need a white lady to be the face of all this. How they gonna make it back to the league? This is why I say you can't even, it's sad what's happening, because on a basketball level, obviously you want Caitlin Clark in a position to help the game, all that stuff, just like you would any player. Mm-hmm. But on a life level, no other player has been hooked onto by this level of bigotry and bigots. No other WNBA player ever has had this type of shit stirring happening, and it's not them, by the way.
It's not them.
You know, there's actually been like conservative WNBA players who didn't like their gay teammates and shit, and they ended up getting drummed out of the league.
Yes, they did.
So that has happened before. This is unprecedented, in which a person can't stop this. And I don't expect her to say or do anything. I don't think it would change a fucking thing, by the way.
Nope, because it's bigger than her.
Yeah, it's not about her, and it has never been about her for all these people. But yeah, so now Republicans are making her calls. I saw Nimrata was out here tweeting about.
They're saying that they can't hear or see.
That's recording. Okay, so now it's recording. Mm-hmm. So okay, I see people are in.
Yeah, they
are.
Cool.
Yeah, I think people can show their cameras, but they can't unmute.
Right.
So that should be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. You ready to do it over here then?
We can.
All right, let me see. Okay, all right. So we were recording, and then big Caitlin Clark shut us down. We were talking to Spicy.
They should have made the Olympics.
So I guess I changed my mind. Caitlin Clark should be on the Olympics team. She didn't do nothing wrong. Free Caitlin Clark. But yeah, so this old woman tweeted Caitlin Clark 22 she added her. Keep in mind, Caitlin doesn't have or really use Twitter.
No, so whoever this account is,
like, I'm sure they have an account so that no one will like be fake her.
Right.
But she said herself, I don't be on Twitter. Right. And I don't blame her.
Right.
So this woman adds her with an American flag, by the way. American flag at Caitlin Clark. America and I have your back. Bring back Marine Paul Whelan and send Brittany Griner back to Russia. Olympics are a meritocracy, not DEI. None of the things in that sentence make sense. Number one, Paul Whelan's also, criminal too, right? Like, if we gonna be on who got to go back to Russia. Two, Olympics are about meritocracy, correct? Not DEI, correct. Putting Caitlin on there would be for what reason?
Right.
She has more merit than Brittany Griner, or you call Brittany Griner a unpatriotic lesbian, which is no longer about meritocracy. Because if a lesbian is unpatriotic, but also busting that ass and scoring the more points and winning more games, doesn't that make that person more have more merit than a person who's hard working but not as good regular ass white woman?
True.
Considering that the women Olympic
Right.
team is already DEI by by nature.
By definition.
By definition, they have to be DEI because it's the women's team is fucking these motherfucking people, dog. Oh my God. I hate them all. I hate them all. In other LGBTQ news, the Peruvian government has classified trans people as mentally ill. The government of Peru has issued an official decree. Decline. Wait, are you not muted over there?
I am. I keep forgetting on Zoom. I have to do 3 guys on it double Zoom and it echoes.
Oh, okay. The decree announced last Friday will reportedly update Peru's essential health insurance plan, PEAS, to officially classify conditions such as transsexualism, dual role transvestism. Are they making new words up? I thought we had words that
they are.
Gender identity disorder in childhood and other gender identity disorders, fetish, transdivism, and ego dystonic sexual orientation as mental health disorders. In its announcement, the country's health ministry claimed that the decree signed by socially conservative President Dina Boluarte, was the only way it could guarantee full coverage of medical attention for mental health for trans, non-binary, and intersex people under the country's universal health care insurance. Peru's Ministry of Health on Friday also released a statement confirming its position that gender and sexual diversity are not diseases, and its rejection of the stigmatization of sexual diversity. Further, the statement reads, sexual orientation and gender identity of a person does not itself constitute a physical or mental health disorder and therefore should not be subjected to treatment or medical care or to so-called conversion therapies, right? Because when they say this is the only way we're going to be able to medically treat trans people in our country, they don't mean, oh, now we'll help you with transition and hormone therapy and mental health. No, what they mean is we will make you be straight. We will make you cisgender. You will behave as we are telling you to behave. That is our because when you say conversion therapy, you're not talking about anyone helping anyone's mental health other than to be like, you better act a certain way.
Right.
The minister statement continued that the update to the PEAS is carried out in the face of the need to ensure the benefit of comprehensive mental health interventions as conditions for the full exercise of the right to health and well-being of a person, the family, and the community. Yeah, and we once again already know that trans people are dealing with a much higher level of mental health distress, resulting in many people dying by suicide and stuff. And then these are the pronouncements, these are the policies motherfuckers are taking the time to put into place, stuff that's making people's lives harder, not better. Bakery turns homophobic messages into delicious fundraiser for LGBTQ plus charities. Well, I do love when people keep that same kind of energy. A bakery has turned nasty anti-LGBTQ plus social media messages into delicious cookies that will benefit queer allied charities. The Sick Freak Cookie Box, sold by the Rock City Cake Company of Charleston, West Virginia.
That name
features real-life hate messages that the company received after sharing social media posts supporting the LGBTQ community. The bakery printed out the individual messages on edible paper and then placed them on top of cookies surrounded by pale orange and blue icing and a ring of multicolored sprinkles.
So I can just eat your words.
Yeah, I actually kind of like the general idea of this. You know what I mean? Like, these are the, they blanked out the people's names. So, because, these fucking snowflakes love to sue after being hateful online. So they blanked out the people's names, but they left like the tweet and whatever the avatar is. And then they put the message on top of the cupcake. Sick freaks will never buy anything from your store. So worthless, bunch of clowns. How sad do you support such nasty wickedness? I won't be financially supporting you anymore. I would buy the fuck out these cupcakes. I'm not even eating cupcakes right now. I'd support right. I'd support this. This is
I support it and slowly eat them.
Yeah, this is some good ass marketing right
Y'all deliver?
Right. So yeah, it's funny to see them try to, somebody flip it into something positive. So I support it. I actually like that story. Let's see. SoCal district to pay $360,000 to a teacher who was fired after refusing to follow transgender policies. So I believe this is a woman who, Jessica Tapia, she taught PE at a high school. And she refused to adhere to the policies regarding transgender, gender nonconforming students, and she cited her Christian beliefs.
I love that. That's the only one. Nobody else. If it was my Muslim belief or my Hindu belief or any other belief, y'all would reject the shit out of that.
And what was the policies? It was use people's pronouns, use their preferred pronouns, call them the name that they say they identify as. Um, uh, Also, let's see. She said, also she felt like you have to withhold information from parents about the child's gender identity. So basically, if a child is not out at home but they're out at school, I want to go snitch to the parents, not knowing anything that's happening in that household.
Right. It's not right.
Now, the school district did not admit to wrongdoing, but it agreed to pay her $285,000 as well as $75,000 for her attorney fees, according to the settlement signed Tuesday. Tipia also agreed not to seek future employment with the district, and both sides agreed to not disparage each other or file future lawsuits. Her attorneys called it a
bitch, be gone. Basically, they was like, we don't want to be bothered. Get out of here.
Her attorneys called it an incredible victory.
Which it is. It's sad, but it is because
she did win.
Yes, she did, because she got that money, and that's what it all boiled down to.
And I would have loved to see them fight against this and go, no, absolutely not. But I'm also saying that without my taxpayer money being the money that now goes into some type of lawsuit instead of helping the kids in the school district. So, I mean, it's easy for me to say, I'm sure. But yeah, it just seems like a big got a W.
Right. They had rules and you said fuck the rules and you get rewarded for breaking the rules. It doesn't make sense.
Under California's anti-discrimination laws, federal and state laws, a transgender non-conforming student's identity should not be shared, including with their parents. But in Tapia's case, her attorneys argued there was never an instance when she didn't abide by the school and state policies because it never came up in her tenure. Instead, her termination stemmed from several of her social media posts, which students found offensive and reported for their content about transgender people and religion. So that's how she's able to win the lawsuit. Is I didn't do anything. I might have said on social media I disagreed. I might even said I wasn't going to comply, but I never had a trans student in my class to subject to my views. So y'all fired me without knowing that. Now, what I would find interesting, not to make it the same, but I have to wonder, does this count if someone's racist? So, like, if a teacher is saying, I hate black kids, black people, black this, that, and others, racial slur, if they go, yeah, I say that on Twitter and Facebook, but when I have a black kid in my class, I don't talk like that.
Yeah, this is why it goes back to y'all need policies and shit online. But like, look, we have the right to fire you if we see this shit on your own social media. They're so slow, and I'm pretty sure they got policies, but it's one of those things where either they don't stick to it, they don't take it seriously, or they don't think nobody is stupid enough to do some bullshit like that.
Yeah, I don't know how you enforce something like this when you weren't thinking about it at the time, right?
Right.
Because it's like you got to now have a case like this to then put it in the writing somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But man, but I just feel like even with what you're saying, Karen, if this would have been somebody using the N-word or something, some white racist teacher posting I wonder if they would have still been able to have a case of being like, I just said that on social media, because I feel like they get fired and that's it. Ain't no lawsuit, ain't no settlement.
Correct. And that ought to be that ought to be treated the same.
Yeah. So just made me think about it. Bud Light says it learned this lesson. Okay. Now they had that situation last year where they had a trans influencer as part of a Bud Light campaign the right wing MAGA, all that stuff. People got very upset. Conservative people were very upset. I'm not drinking your beer. Kid Rock's pulling out AR-15s and shooting beer and all kinds of shit. And so they said, okay, you know what? We put out a Millie Mouth statement, and we are now stopping that transgender campaign. And it's like, oh man, that mess that just made everyone mad. Because at least you had some liberal people being like, I had Bud Light wrong. I'm going to support Bud Light now. But now everybody's like, fuck you. You're not an ally. You're not nothing. Well, they will now stay in our lane, according to Jason Warner, CEO of the European branch of Bud Light's parent company, Anheuser-Busch. He said the company plans to avoid all controversial issues because when people are drinking Bud Light, they don't want to think about anything but fun.
Right, which is where you should have stayed in the first place. And not trying to be funny, people complain, but this is why we get born air Super Bowl commercials. This is for real. Like, this is why we get it, because if you quote unquote stand for anything, one, because we're so polarizing in this country, one side or the other will get mad at you, or either like they did, you didn't satisfy anybody, so it wouldn't. I don't think you had a huge dip, but you probably had a dip in sales across the board. Because people are like, well, conservatives like, I'm not buying it, and you had liberal people go, I'm not buying it either. So it ended up. Honestly, that's why they made the statement, because it ended up fucking up their money. Other than that, you wouldn't have made this statement. And my thing is, if you're not willing to stand behind it, right, stay in your lane, make milk toast commercials, just keep putting it out there where everybody partying. Because I will say this, like I said about the DEI, like I said about the other shit, it's a lot of companies, they ain't do shit, they ain't say shit, and guess what? They don't have to worry about goddamn apologizing because they never took their asses over there in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because people want their capitalism to feel good. That's the thing now, is you want to feel like I support this artist believes everything I believe. This company believes everything I believe. And I think in addition to it being a pipe dream and basically impossible to keep up with, it's also just becomes a cynical move. It's not, the companies don't believe any of this shit. They never have, they never will. For the vast majority of not just the corporate entities, but the people that run them are like, oh, a quick way to appeal to more people in something that, and I think for a while, it's definitely black shit after George Floyd died, and definitely LGBTQ stuff over the last, probably during the Obama administration and probably the later half of that. I think people thought those fights are basically over, and that it is now general understanding that black people, after George Floyd, black people are getting discriminated against, and racism is real. So we can now enact policies and make commercials talking about how much we want to help black people out. It's an easy layup, good PR, and people will hopefully buy our stuff. And I think this was an assumption for a lot of LGBTQ issues. And I think Budweiser thought, hey, or Bud Light or whatever, it seems like everybody is okay with trans people now. So it's time for us to step our foot into this. And they found out real quick what trans people deal with. The bigotry is real. And they didn't double down and say, well, fuck y'all, we're supporting these people. And I don't care if the stock price drops. I don't care if I'm a CEO and I lose my job. I'm making a point. Mm-hmm. No.
Right.
The money stopped flowing, and they immediately, we got to get the fuck out of this.
Right. If you don't have the backbone to stand behind shit like this, just don't do it. Like, I hate to be like this, like, don't do it. And maybe it's a generational thing. My company, like who I give my dollars to, y'all don't have to represent anything most of the time. I don't give a fuck. I just want the burger, the fries, like, I pay you for service, you provide the service, the end. I don't care about the extra shit. We don't have to be morally aligned or anything like that. I'm a consumer. I consume shit. You don't have to be on these high horses for me to quote unquote feel good about where my dollar's going, because I live in America. Everything goes back to fucking racism. Everything has got a dirty dollar attached to it. If that's the case, I'm gonna be buying a consuming shit.
Yeah, I think I like it when something I support is also financially like a cool thing to support. Like, I love that, but I know it's not something that is easy to do, and it's obviously not something you can do all the time. I just never believed in these commercials. So I don't have any like anger or shock towards it. I don't feel any level of betrayal. Even when it was the Black Lives Matter and the George Floyd stuff, I was very cynical at the time because I just don't trust a corporation. So I don't have no anger or nothing in me to be mad at, but about or be mad at people. I think it's just nothing to be frustrated over. The activism wasn't real either.
Right,
You know, it
right,
was all fake.
right. And also, like I said, and I'm not sure if it's a generational thing or people think, but yeah, there are a lot of people who feel like wherever I spend my dollars, you have to represent something. And like I said, I don't feel like that. Like
I think it's I don't even think it's a people thing. I think it's a social media thing.
True.
Because social media is all about us and what us trying to feel the best possible and stun on people. And the easiest way to stun on people is just say you believe in a bunch of stuff. And I'm not saying it has to be left leaning stuff. It can be whatever it is. You say you believe in blank things, and what is the cost of that?
Right.
There's no cost on social media, really. Some people won't like you, but there'll be another group of people who love everything about you. And so I think it's easy to say, like, here's what's wrong with this, and here's what's wrong with that, and this is why I buy this. And then the second you find out that the people that run that are human and complex and not so black and white, then you're out on that. So I don't know that it's just even generational. I think it's the currency of the internet, and it's just taking on another level of strength as social media has grown.
Agreed. And also, I think it justifies people's right to judge other people over their decisions when everybody makes a decision that somebody would disagree with, a purchasing power.
Yeah.
But it gives them the right to quote unquote point the finger at you. When at the end of the day, a lot of people online, they don't support the shit that they're complaining about. Like they just say shit online. But you know, the company is the person who sees the dollar raises or falls or whatever. And I think some companies have gotten better by not being immediately reactionary to shit. They're like, no, we can't be reactionary to these people online because there's millions of billions of people that aren't on this bitch that actually will spend money at our companies that actually don't care.
Yeah, it's also why whenever they do the thing of like, this company isn't supporting Palestine, this artist hasn't said anything. I'm like, this is definitely a social media construct because for the vast majority, if you don't have anything to say, my default is that either A, you don't know what to say, or B, you know what you have to say is very unpopular, so you need to shut the fuck up.
Right.
I'll accept both.
Me too.
Neither one of those bother me. I love when the people that, I disagree with are shutting the fuck up and just doing their job. Mm-hmm. Or if you just are over these complicated issues that if you're like, we're just gonna stay in our lane, I get that too. Yes, I don't need my makeup to like have a stance, but
me either.
Social media has kind of turned everything into that kind of currency.
Yes, sir.
The United Methodist repealed long-standing ban on LGBT clergy. United Methodist delegates repealed their church's longstanding ban on LGBTQ clergy with no debate on Wednesday, removing a rule that forbids self-avowed practicing homosexuals from being ordained or appointed as ministers. The delegates voted 692 to 51 at their general conference. Wow. The first such legislative gathering in 5 years, that overwhelming margin contrasts sharply with the decades of controversy around the issue. Past general conferences of the United Methodist Church had steadily reinforced the ban and related penalties amid debates and protests. But many of the conservatives who had previously upheld the ban have left the denomination in recent years, and this general conference has moved in a solidly progressive direction. Oh, so basically the biggest left to their own churches or devices,
yes,
which then leaves the progressive people there who then immediately go, yep, we're ready to move into the gay future.
Yes, I could see that. Yeah, I could see. And also I could be like, hey, since these people left, we want money, we want churches, like we want to expand, and we need people here too in order to do that too.
Delegates, applause broke out in parts of the convention hall after the vote. A group of observers from the LGBTQ advocacy groups embraced, some in tears. Thanks be to God, said one. The change doesn't mandate or even explicitly affirm LGBTQ clergy, but it means that church no longer forbids them. It is possible that the change will mainly apply to U.S. churches, since United Methodist bodies in other countries, such as in Africa, have the right to impose the rule for their own regions. The measure takes effect immediately upon the conclusion of the General Conference. Wow.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find, and this is what happened when people vote. Like these people like went and was like, my vote gonna matter, and they voted, and this is how you get shit done.
Well, they voted in their church, not
But
necessarily election,
but
but
yes,
you know.
but yeah, in their church to get these things passed.
Mhm. All right, let's move into other news, although this next article is almost kind of related. But let's move into some other news. All right. Southern Baptists are poised to ban churches with women pastors.
Oh, so this is where they went to? Did they leave that like not y'all fault, like they left that one and went over to this one? I would not be surprising if that's what happened and that's why they banned it.
I mean, listen, you saying something right now. I hadn't even thought about that angle, but you know what? That's a good point. Maybe they just left.
Mm-hmm. I was right about something. I was right about something. And them people got the shock of their lives. They was like, "Oh, the numbers is growing. It's doing great over here. Okay, time to vote." What? That's what happened.
Yeah, they said not only can we keep the gays out, we can also ban women if we just all group up and go to the same party together.
Yep.
Yeah. So they basically said that uh they are no longer going to have possibly I mean they are possibly no longer have women as preachers now. What does this mean if your church has a woman pastor now?
Right. What does that mean?
Do you have to leave the denomination? Does
You may have
it just
to.
not count? Does your beliefs, what does that mean for your belief system if you are a pastor as part of this group? And you know these groups, these Christian groups have slight differences, but you know, it's like, oh, we don't like to do all the Holy Ghost flipping and flopping and save on Sundays. And the other one's like, we don't sing. And the other one's like, no dancing. You know, that's why all the
like
churches
no
are
hymn
different.
books. We do hymn books. Yes.
Yes, you know, it might be little things. We don't
Mhm.
actually baptize you in water or whatever it is. But I mean, that's your belief system, and those people have rejected you. You know what I mean? Because you have a vagina and nobody can hear the Lord's word over those vagina lips flapping in the wind.
Apparently they can't.
How the hell I'm supposed to know what Jesus want me to do if you got some titties? I mean, sorry, but I believe the Lord wants two balls in my face at all times, not two titties. Okay, he made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. By some estimates, the proposed ban could affect hundreds of congregations,
right,
and have a disproportionate impact on predominantly black churches. Say it with me, Karen. You
predominantly
get the
black
prize.
churches, right? A lot of Baptist black churches do have a tendency to have a woman pastor. Not all of them, but a lot of them do.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have these pastors and churches having to make decisions. Do we remove our pastor, or do we actually be like, let's just break off and be a non-denominational and actually try to just support ourselves?
Right. So yeah, that's what's happening out there, everybody. Good luck.
Mm-hmm. All you're gonna do is cause fallout in these churches because a lot of them gonna be like, I don't want, I like my pastor, I don't want a man here.
My nigga Hunter Hennessy Ray Biden has now been officially found guilty on federal gun charges. A historic first for the offspring of a sitting president.
That was the whole point. They could have ended this a long time ago, but they was determined that they was gonna charge him no matter what.
So he faced up to 25 years in prison for 3 charges: lying on a federal screening form about his drug use, lying to a gun dealer, and possessing the gun. Although first-time nonviolent offenders typically get shorter sentences, the 54-year-old businessman and attorney's case came up after a plea deal fell apart in July 2023. Uh, I find it interesting on many levels. The first level being, of course, Republicans and Fox News have been obsessed with Hunter Biden, trying to get him found guilty in a court of law, saying, that this proves the fact that he was not found guilty and had not been charged. This was just proving that the systems are just out to get the Republicans and blah, blah, blah. Well, Hunter Biden has been found guilty. Will they now do a 180 and go, well, damn, I guess Trump is guilty too, because the system doesn't really play favors, and Joe Biden and his administration were not able to protect his son from the consequences of his actions. So maybe Joe Biden and the DOJ have not completely rigged this system in a way that's just against Republicans. Clearly, that must be the logical conclusion after this has happened, after we said that it wouldn't, correct?
No, that's not going to happen. Of course not. All that's going to happen, justice is swift. Justice did what it's supposed to do. They'll praise the system. But yet, when Trump old funky ass got charged, they didn't want to cover the bullshit.
Yeah. So I find it interesting. Joe Biden said, has already been saying there's his administration, a word from his administrations, he's not going to pardon his son. So this is just, if he goes to jail, he's going to jail. That's it.
Well, because it's one of those things where it's sad, but he was like, nope, I got to keep integrity on this and be like, nah, I love you, son, but I can't do this. And they bet you they had talks and conversations about it. And it was like, well, if you won't do this, these are the consequences and I can't do it. I love you. I'll come visit you, but I'm not doing it.
It'll be interesting to see what sentence he gets.
True.
Because I don't know anything about the judge, and I'm sure the prosecutor is going to recommend like some crazy amount of time, even though this is normally a case that is not even taken up. Like these kind of cases don't even normally get pursued, but
right. That's why I would say that was the whole purpose, because they normally don't, like, this was basically a spectacle.
So I just wonder if this will be something where they want a spectacle sentence of we want them to get 25 years or whatever. But I guess we'll find out as that continues. But shout out to my man Hunter. Karen, have you ever heard of polyamory?
All
right, polyamory.
That's the LGBTQ, something in that range. I'm assuming so.
What do you mean?
Because it sounds like polyamory, so it's somewhere in that family.
Well, I was going to explain it to you. The term polyamory was created by podcaster and sex relationship columnist Dan Savage.
A lot of people love his podcast, yes.
Support Montello that combines the term tolerate and polyamory. It describes a relationship dynamic where one or both parties tolerate or put up with the other's extramarital or sexual encounters. In contrast to other consensual non-monogamy practices like polyamory, this one isn't something that couples have to formally discuss and agree upon.
What? You mean just cheating? I don't understand. The fuck is this?
I think you do understand.
We don't have to have a word for it. If we not in agreement, that's what you're doing. I don't care I don't care if it's 18 of us. If we ain't in agreement, it's a problem.
The word was introduced in January's episode of his podcast where he described it as someone willing to turn a blind eye to a lap dance or a brief affair after years of marriage. He added they're able to focus on all the ways the spouse demonstrates their commitment and shows their love, and all of those other ways compensate or make the cheating that might be happening tolerable. Though these people aren't fools or dupes, they're not to be pitied. They know what they signed up for and long ago made peace with what they got. They're willing to put up with a certain amount, reconcile to it, willing to tolerate it. They are, in a word, polyamorous.
Then there's a lot of people like this. A lot of people deal with this all the time, and straight and gay and all the relationships. You just made up a goddamn word for nothing. It's called cheating.
Yeah, I think, Karen, I think you summed it all up for me. Speaking of polyamorous, I guess Tory Lanez's wife has filed for divorce after less than a year of marriage.
Oh, so they recently got married then.
Like, ma'am, you got into the Tory Lanez stock late.
Real late.
Like, what are you gonna buy some GameStop stock next? Like, this is the fight that he's not the kind of man you marry a year ago. I'll put it that way. Whatever the benefits of dating Tory Lane were and being married to him were obviously long before the prison part. Who wants to do the prison part? But yeah, they have irreconcilable differences.
You don't say. Irreconcilable as we can't be together, and I'm not coming up. I'm not going up there to visit you.
Yeah, her name is Raina Chasan. Okay, all right. They asked the judge to lessen his sentence because they apparently have a hold on. That's not no, okay. So this is far from an old romance, however, and the two welcomed his first and only child, 7-year-old Kai. Chasang reportedly asked the judge to lessen his sentence and attested to his dedication to fatherhood. Oh, they quietly got married June 25th, 2023. What?
None of this makes sense.
He's gonna be in jail 10 years.
None of this makes sense.
All right. Well, no, actually, the divorce part make a lot of sense.
Yeah, the divorce part makes sense. The other shit don't.
This next story is bananas.
Okay.
A Florida jury has ordered Chiquita to pay $38.3 million for financing Colombian paramilitary group.
God damn, them the banana people, ain't they?
Yes. Yes. Chiquita Bananas out here funding. Well, I guess that's why they call them the gorillas. Gorilla paramilitary group. Anyway, yeah, it was it was Colombian paramilitary group Autodefensas Unidades de Colombia, or the AUC. The ruling in the federal court of the Southern District of Florida concluded that Chiquita knowingly provided substantial assistance to the AUC, creating a foreseeable risk of harm to others.
Child, there's a lot of money in the banana game, apparently.
Yeah.
You're selling tons of bananas.
Maybe that's why you got those guns that have those banana clips.
That's what they got. They slipped on their own products.
Yeah. Maybe they'll be able to challenge this and get a higher court to accept it upon appeal.
They didn't know when to split off on time.
Trying to come up with more puns.
I guess they did make that banana bread. They bring me money.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The lawsuit initially filed in 2008 accused Chiquita of making payments to the AUC that supported the group's violent activities in Colombia. These payments recorded as security services totaled over $1.7 million. Whoop. Despite the AUC being designated a terrorist organization, Chiquita made more than 100 payments, for which it pleaded guilty in 2007 and paid a $25 million fine to the United States government.
100? Woo!
Yeah, that's a lot of transactions.
Ain't it though?
Man, they was breaking them off.
They need to go through their board and get people out of there, because why is we doing this?
Right. Didn't they used to have a Chiquita banana lady as part of their logo?
Mm-hmm. She with bananas.
She get retired after the Me Too movement. What happened with her?
They Chad, I don't know, because she used to be on the sticker. 4011. It's a code. I used to work at the grocery store. That's the banana code.
Yeah, she had all them fruits on her head, even though she was selling bananas.
Right.
Yeah, that's. I hope she wasn't involved. I was a big fan of her.
Right.
But yeah, so they went ahead and got lost that motherfucking trial, man. They said they failed. The jury said they failed to act as a reasonable business person would have acted under the circumstances, rejecting the company's defense that payments were made under threats of violence. I do wonder if listen, if the guerrilla group come to you and say, break us off some of that banana bread before we have to go ahead and bust a cap up in you. If you're Chiquita Banana, what you gonna do?
Yeah,
You
yes.
gonna pay.
It's one thing where you gonna pay, and then because you're scared, you're gonna immediately go to federal. We paid one time because we was threatened, but we ain't paying no more. We'll pay out the fine. All right. They could have dealt with like 1 or 2, but you did it 100 times. I was like, nah, dog, we can't let that slip.
Yeah, it's a real slippery slope.
They was trying to peel away.
I think we already said that one. All right, let's get to the next one. Let's see, what was I gonna say? Oh, actually no, let's go to a different segment. Let's how long have we been going? We can do some black capitalism. I think this is a day that calls for black capitalism.
Yeah. I hear y'all talking, but the only thing I'm listening to is that paper. Every day we get into that paper. I hear the money talk to see you later. Yeah. Every day we get into that paper. I hear the money talk to see you later. Yeah, I said I ain't got time to converse with you broke niggas. Ain't got time to convert with you broke niggas. Ain't got time to converse. I said I ain't got time to converse. I be getting to the paper. I hear the money talk. I see you later. Said every day we grinding for that paper. Every day we grinding. Yeah. Every day we grinding. I hear the money talk. I see you later. Look. Every day we grinding for that paper. I hear the money talk. I see you later. Yeah. Don't think I forgot Harry Tubman's supposed to be on them $20 bills, nigga.
Ooh. I had to play the whole thing that time. That was amazing. I love that. Great job, Felt 5.
Yes,
no
sir.
notes.
No notes.
You can always go listen to Felt 5's music on streaming services. FELT 5. That's it. All right. Rihanna has stepped out with her natural hair ahead of her Fenty hair product launch.
Oh yeah, she gonna sell us everything. She gonna have a car. Like she's like, I'm gonna sell all of the products, and people gonna buy them.
Yeah, I always find it. I always find it interesting when it's time for Beyonce, Rihanna, whoever, Tracy, Ellis Ross. Whenever it's time to sell their hair products, that's when they pull out that natural hair on you, let you know a sale is afoot. Because look at my dude.
Right, a sale.
Don't you want to look like this too? You better go on and cop some. So I think that's why she pulled it out. Now I do wonder, coming after Beyonce's done it, is Fenty hair gonna take off? Because I think one of the reasons that Fenty makeup obviously took off is because she was on that thing right away. It was very much about serving the underserved community. Black hair, I wonder how much people feel underserved at this point, because there's so many more options than when, say, Fenty makeup kind of started just not even that many years ago. So I wonder if at this point, will she capitalize off of the vacuum in the market, or will she just be capitalizing off of it's Fenty, it's Rihanna? I just want to support for her and for the makeup loyalty, and not necessarily the, oh my God, there's this huge amount of people in the market being not served.
I think the second one, because she has a loyal, dedicated fan base. She's famous enough that no matter what she, quote unquote, she come out with sunglasses, glasses, like it really wouldn't matter. You would have a percentage of people that would just buy it. And, and for me, depending on what it is, I would buy it just to see about it. Even if I don't make another purchase past that point, like she gonna get some coin out of people just to see if it works or not.
I'm also kind of surprised how much I guess it would be white people, not us. But I'm always a little thrown off by how much people are surprised that they don't know what black women's hair really looks like. Like all these famous women normally wearing wigs and protective styles.
Yes, they are.
So you ain't really seeing like what their hair really look like.
Mm-mm.
So I wonder, because black people, I know I don't know what Beyonce hair look like.
Mm-mm.
You know, like
Nope.
like-
Nope. Even when they had them froze, they got wigs that are froze and shit now.
Yeah.
You literally don't know what people's hair looks like.
Like I'm sure she's shown it to us a time or two, but I remember seeing like a documentary or something where she like took off the wig and had the protective style underneath, and I'm like, of course. But I always feel like I wonder if white people are so shocked by that. But
Some are.
seeing Rihanna's like real hair out and styled, I just when I see that now, I'm like, what's they selling? Cause it's just like
Mhm.
I'm not surprised. I know that your real hair is not the golden bob. You know what I mean? So anyway, shout out to Rihanna. She
Mhm.
finna be getting some more money.
Make that money.
Speaking of getting some more money by Rihanna though,
Okay.
she says she was catching up with ET's Kevin Frazier about her Fenty hair launch event, and she said because last week she was spotted in a t-shirt that said "I'm retired."
Now I'm retired.
That's what I like about her. She so trolls her audience.
Yes, she does.
So always
Like you ain't nowhere near nobody's retirement age.
Yeah, I mean, but she hasn't made that album in 8 years.
Right, and that's the
So
joke.
it's not about retirement age.
Mm-mm.
People retire from music, whatever they feel like
I
retire from
agree.
music. But she also knows everyone. She goes outside, she breathes. Paparazzi are there. We're all speculating. We're all hanging.
When is your new album?
Yeah,
that was her way to say, quit asking me.
right. But she laughed it off saying people got triggered with that retired word. They were like, we're never getting an album now. No one read the other line. It was something about this is as dressed up as I get. However, the fans can breathe easy. She revealed she's been actively working in the studio. I think that music for me is a new discovery. I'm rediscovering things. I have been working on the album for so long that I kind of put all that stuff aside. And now I'm prepared to go back in the studio. I'm going to start. Give me a second.
Yeah, she just had 2 kids.
I like give me a second. She said, yeah, I'm starting over, but I don't want to neglect the songs that I have. I actually want to go back and listen to stuff with new ears, with my new perspective, and see what applies and what I'm still in love with. So people, hey, might be getting a new album from Rihanna.
Mm-hmm. I believe it when it hits streaming services.
Well, I think as a bitch, I better have her money because how I'm gonna afford the album.
Ain't that the truth?
She's letting me know. She's giving me a bunch of foreshadowing and warning.
Mm-hmm.
We've had 8 years to save up the money.
Come on, y'all better get it together. She gonna probably start touring too.
TikTok star Keith Lee hints at upcoming TV show.
Let's go.
In a video shared this Twitter Thursday night, he shared a clip from a video he made October 8th, 2022 with the caption, "Reach for the stars and hit the moon." It's October 8th, 2022. I don't know what I'm going to finish this video, but when I finish this video, I'm going to have a job at Vegas PBS, like the PBS network. He foreshadowed, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if we're going to have our own TV show. If we're going to be producing the show. We're going to be working with the writing. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to be doing something. And the second we get the job, I'm going to finish this video. Thursday night, he finished the video.
Come on, dream big. I believe in dreaming big.
With great power comes great responsibility, Lee told NBC News, quoting the famous line of Spider-Man franchise, someone's in this position. I think it's up to me to understand that and not shy away from it. Oh, they're talking about, his other earlier interviews. But yeah, now it seems like he may be getting a TV show. And I saw there were people trying to find ways to be negative about it, but I honestly don't have anything negative to say about it. I think even if you're a cynical person, he made a hell of a brand doing what he's doing. And if you don't like it, maybe you should have done something similar to what he did, and maybe it'll be you. Or maybe you did try it and nobody gave a fuck about the way you did it. But his like trying to stay positive, doing a lot of positive pro like black restaurant reviews, taking that like YouTube Mr. Beast personality thing, but turning it into nothing but like positivity or nothing but, authenticity or whatever you want to call it. No, it's still a camera in your face. It's still a phone. It's still, content. So I understand we're not seeing everything he is, but
Right.
from what he has shared, it has been things that make people feel warmly towards him and the businesses that he goes to.
And that's true. And like I say, I don't have a problem. I was kind of introduced to him through TikTok. And I was more, if I'm not mistaken, it was the first time I ever heard about him. Kev on Stage and them did an interview with him on one of their podcasts. Like I think that was like one first time I like ever had heard of him. And from there, I started following his TikTok, and that's kind of how I got into him. He's actually worked with like a lot of big change. I know Chief did a thing with Chipotle, and he had like a meal, and it was actually really, really good.
Yeah, I just think he created a very cool, fun brand that people want to be part of. And people have been rooting for him, and he seems to be a guy that doesn't want to cause people problems. Whenever he's had a controversy or something that caused someone problems, he seemed to be the person that would always be the bigger person about it. Even when motherfuckers was out here just basically motherfucking him, like I only saw one video where he ever defended himself, and it still wasn't a petty ass like, I made you or nothing. It was like hey, this was my intent. This is what this guy told me. This is what he's saying now. Y'all make up y'all's minds, but I'm telling you that I didn't do this thing he's saying or whatever. So yeah, I fuck with it, and good for him, and we love to see it, man.
Yes, we do.
On the bigger and better things. Megan Thee Stallion has unveiled her new tequila line.
Let's go tequila.
Yeah. Now tequila, that'll get you drunk. Okay, that's normally pretty strong.
Hot girl summer for real.
Yeah, she got the Hot Girl Summer Tour going on. And she announced a new beverage. I'll show y'all how I got to see what the beverage looks like, and I think y'all see why the marketing was so genius. She put this on her Instagram, and that's the commercial.
Of course it is.
It's her walking in like a tight fitting leotard, with basically you can see the cheeks in the back, and then she's holding the bottle to the side.
Child, I don't know about paying attention to that bottle.
I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time I noticed a bottle was in this. I saw the video and everything, and I was just like, whoa, Megan, there she go again. And this reading this article, I was like, it was a bottle. I didn't read the caption. Yeah, she got a new tequila dropping soon. So the name remains under wraps. So I guess we don't know what it is. And it's rumored to stem from the VIP package on her tour, which is called Chicas Divertidas. Don't even know what that means. It translates to funny girls in English. So VIP is funny girls package. If you go to a concert, maybe you get some VIP tequila.
You might.
Well, we love it. And the last story for Black capitalists. Mary J. Blige. Wait, did we do this? She announced new Giuseppe Zanotti boot collection. We haven't talked about this on the air.
I don't think we have.
Well, it's about fucking time.
Ain't it dope?
Karen been asking for this before our podcast started.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been asking about her boots for you. I was like, Mary J. Blige need a boot. I was like, nobody has got it with her, and was like, bitch, we gonna make you some boots. Let's sell them niggas.
So the problem being that it was extremely limited, the collection. Now they were priced at $1,295
because they were limited,
and they were available from sizes 6 to 12 for women. I saw people saying stuff like, if she was gonna do this, she needed to not get with Giuseppe Zanotti. She should have got with like a more affordable shoe brand, because her fans can't afford to get these boots and all this stuff. Let me tell you something. Mary J. Blige fans got it. I don't know who you think Mary J. Blige fans are.
Come on now.
But
I bet you
your bougie auntie love Mary J. Blige.
They them bitches, and guess what? Next time Mary J. go on tour or some shit, You gonna see them. You gonna see your great auntie with them thigh high boots, rocking it, staring at mirror. And I guarantee you that brand is probably well known for high quality boots. Mirror, like I'm not making no cheap shit.
The boots sold out in a day.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right.
Mary J. Blige fans. Do y'all know who Mary J. Blige fans is? They got money.
Right.
Cause they ain't got no man. They sitting around being like, I hate these niggas.
They ain't got no man. They ain't got no
Mary
kids.
J. Blige is right. They all dogs. But guess what? There's having no man. I've saved money. I've saved time. I've saved heartache. And I definitely saved up enough for some boots. Okay.
You know what they say? I'm not gonna cry over the price of these boots. Here you go, Mary. And they bought them bitches. I guarantee you them and the cat daddies gonna be out there while they with them thigh high boots and them booty shorts. Let's go.
Yeah, it's the Strength of the Woman tour. I'm sure people was paying the arm and a leg to get them seats because they can afford it.
Yeah, they were not cheap seats.
Okay, I don't even know why y'all tried to stereotype them as being broke. And I'm joking about them not having men, but come on, it is funny.
Right.
All right, let's get into the last thing.
And the thing is,
okay, you know what, Karen? Go off.
And the thing is, how y'all know she might not have plans on making a different version. You don't know. People just upset. But, you know, it's just one of those things where this might have been a test run.
I didn't say they were upset. I didn't say anybody was upset. I said they thought it was a bad idea because their fans wouldn't be able to afford it. Then it sold out in a day.
Okay.
To which I'm like, what the fuck y'all do?
Right. That's true.
Yeah. So I don't know if they were upset that they didn't get some. There has to be a contingent of people that are mad they didn't get it.
I know they
but those weren't the people I was talking about. So I don't think it's just because it wasn't affordable. It's just a lot of people just like, damn, I ain't had time to save up my coins.
Right.
All right, guess the race time.
It's time to get the race. It's time to get the race. It's time to get the race. It's time to get the race.
And I can't wait for your auntie to be at the Mary J. Blige concert. Go, Mary! And they gonna be stepping in them boots right along with her too. 1-2 stepping. Let's go.
It's gonna sound like the river dance up in there.
Yeah, it is. Like hell. Poof, 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 poof. And they gonna be getting their lives.
Gonna be a lot of clopping.
Yes.
A man. Wait, actually, you know what? I can't really see his race. All right, we'll go to the next one. 24-year-old lived in an apartment the size of an average parking spot. It gave me independence. Alex Verhaeg had just turned 21 years old when he moved into a 95 square foot apartment in Manhattan's East Village.
Now, 95 square, that ain't big. What's that, side of a closet? 95 square feet?
Well, they said the size of a parking spot. I guess you skipped all of that. The tiny apartment was smaller than the average size of a parking spot, which is roughly 150 square feet.
Oh, it's smaller than a tiny home.
And it didn't have a bathroom. Instead, the 5-story building has 3 bathrooms and 2 showers on each floor for tenants to share. When CNBC Make It First spoke to Verhaeg back in 2022, he was paying $1,100 a month in rent.
Not trying to find the way some of y'all live in New York ought to be illegal. Like, the fuck is this? Don't put me in no closet without no running water or no shit like that. I'm sleeping sideways on the wall just to say I live in New York. That's ridiculous.
Right. You can't even put Mary J. Blige boots in there.
No, that'll take up the whole parking space. You lay them bitches out. That's it. That's the whole room.
Yeah. So yeah, it gave me independence to have a spot all to myself. He said his 3rd year and that would probably be his last. You had to share some things with the restroom, but the apartment itself was just mine, which I really enjoyed.
Child, not for no $1,100. At least with a loft, there's an open air space room. You ain't even getting that.
He said he enjoyed the minimalistic part of it, but after 2 or 3 months before his lease was up, he had to decide whether to renew. He said, I was spending more and more time at home. I could feel the sense of the place being small and things I was lacking. As a content creator and USPS mail carrier, he moved out of his tiny apartment that September to a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment in Midtown with 2 roommates. He pays $1,300 a month, his part of the rent, to stay there.
Good God.
Yeah.
Woo.
So, but now he says he gets to do more cooking. He has to get used to having roommates. Yeah, because before he didn't have a kitchen.
Yeah, how you keep clean, how you wash your ass, how you wash your hands.
Well, he said, hold on. I did mention they had bathrooms and showers on each floor.
Yeah. Yes, but my thing is like in that tiny ass room he went for. Oh, I got space now. I was like, yeah, you don't. I mean, you still sharing it with quote unquote roommates,
right?
But it ain't like you sharing it with a floor full of people,
right? But yeah, so he said he doesn't miss living there right at the moment. So Karen, guess the race of Alex Verhaeg.
White.
Karen says white. Let's check the chat room, see what they believe. White says Mary. All right, let's see if anybody else. White says Jane. Getting a few whites in the chat room. All the Harry Potter Nook room with no magic. White. White. All right, the correct answer is white. Everyone got it. And I'll scroll up. This is him in his old apartment.
You can touch the walls.
Yeah. This is from the other view, I guess, maybe.
He be balled up in the night. Ain't no way you can stretch your legs out in that bed.
He got a fridge with no sink. That's crazy.
See
him laying on the bed.
Right. I'm about to say, I was looking at how tall they were. I was like, there's no way you lay straight on your bed.
He got the nerve to have 2 thumbs up. Man, that is wild.
And probably still have to ride the subway. No, thank you.
I like that he has a girlfriend when he took the picture in the new apartment. That made me feel like he upgraded for a reason.
Yeah.
Know?
They was like,
it'd be a woman that come into the life and be like, that's enough of this bullshit.
They're looking like, you pay how much for this? Word?
You gonna need to grow the fuck up right now.
Right.
All right, let's go to the next one. Muncie Man. Hope I said that right. Muncie. 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 Muncie Man robbed and threatened to shoot up barber over a messed up haircut.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
How did he check it up?
Bad, I guess.
Okay. I mean, but I was like, how was it? Was it the bangs?
What was the phrase?
Yes.
He gonna.
I'm trying to figure out what's happening here.
He gonna have the most fucked up mug shot we ever seen.
Yes, they are.
I'm gonna try to play the article. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear the news article. Let me see. Oh wait, is this even?
Is it one of the ones that just play music and roll the thing?
Yeah, it's not really the article.
Right,
okay,
that's how they get you.
All right, so a Muncie man has been arrested after police say he robbed his barber and threatened to shoot up the barbershop over an argument about a messed up haircut.
You robbed him?
The amount of things I've said in the title of an article. That as I've read the body of the article, you have decided were brand new information. It's killing me today. What is happening? Are you not listening to me when I start the article? Or what's going on?
I am.
Okay, all right. Because the title was he robbed and threatened to shoot up his barber over messed up haircut. That was the title.
Okay,
So
no problem.
First line
I heard, he was upset over the haircut.
Okay, and then you forgot everything that happened before that.
My bad. That's what I was like, he robbed him too? Shit, what the fuck happened?
All right.
I just blanked out on the haircut.
Davian R. Hanyard, a 24-year-old Muncie man, was arrested Tuesday afternoon on charges of felony robbery and intimidation. The arrest, Muncie police said, stemmed from an argument between Hanyard and his barber. They were called around 1:20 p.m. to the Kings and Queens barbershop.
Oh, shit. Is there some Z's on the end of
that? S's this time. For an alleged robbery that happened an hour prior. An hour prior? They took their time.
Yeah, they did.
He cut 3 more heads before y'all showed up.
His head done grew back for the end.
The man later identified as Hanyard, who said that during the scheduled haircut, the barber messed his hair up. Hanyard admitted that he got upset with the barber, but let the haircut continue. That just means he was there getting angrier and angrier, thinking about that fucked up haircut. However, Hanyard said that the barber again messed up, causing him to rip off the barber's cape, stand up from the chair. He told officials he began arguing with the barber about messing up his line. The barber told Hanyard that the cut was fine. Hanyard agreed to sit back down and let the barber at least fix the fade. Officer then spoke with the barber, who said Hanyard kept yelling about his line being messed up during the haircut. The barber confirmed that Hanyard had stood up at one point during the haircut, but told officers he was able to calm him down and continue. Then, while finishing the haircut, the barber said Hanyard got upset again, ripped the cape off while standing up. While standing in the shop, Hanyard told the victim, "How about we just fight?"
I don't think that's how this works. I don't think that's how you gonna fight for the haircut. What the hell is this?
If you fuck up my line 3 times, I do feel like then just beat me up. Because I can't, you making it work. I'd rather get beat up than have to walk around for 2 weeks like that.
At least I could justify my fucked up haircut. I popped the barber and this is what I got.
After saying this, Hanyard put his hand next to his waist and said, "How about I just shoot this place up?" and told the victim to give him all his money. Video footage reviewed by the police showed Hanyard yelling before the barber pulls out his wallet. Hanyard then is seen snatching the wallet from the barber and pulling out a $20 bill. When he started to get a wallet back, Hanyard noticed another 20 in the wallet and stole that as well. Hanyard then walks out of the building. While speaking with the police, the barber said he was in fear of being shot by Hanyard.
Right.
Due to the occupation of the victim being a result of the incident, the charge of intimidation is a level 6 felony. Hanyard is also charged with robbery for putting the victim in fear of being shot prior to taking the money. Hanyard was arrested on the scene and booked in the county jail. He later bonded out after paying $10,000. Online court records have not been updated.
And all you got was 40 out the deal?
It sounds like, yeah. Like, I guess it was the principle of the thing. You know, it wasn't really about the money at that point.
Apparently not.
All right, Karen, guess the race.
I'm going black because it was named Kings and Queens.
Okay.
Might be wrong, but it might be some white kings and queens out there, but I'm going black.
So Karen thinks Davion R. Hanyard is a black man. That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check the chat room, see what they believe. Let's see. Should have let little black students do it. Filthy cotton-headed darky. Jesus.
Oh,
please don't shoot up the place. Biggie Black. That was a classic Boondocks nigga moment. Black should have just took his money. Now he caught a case. Black. Did he dish you? Black. The correct answer is black. And I don't have a picture of him, but come on.
His name Kings and Queens.
Come on, guys. We know the answer. He black.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Man, he really took it to the next level. All right, let's go to the bonus round. Karen is 2 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I'm racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
Gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey eating, baboon, big guy, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
A former server at a former server at a South Charlotte fine dining restaurant says she was fired after her viral TikTok video of a man having lunch with a blow-up dog over Memorial Day weekend.
Oh
no. Yeah, I wonder if I can play the TikTok.
Okay, so I'm not supposed to be making TikToks at work, but this calls for it. I work at a nice restaurant in Charlotte, and I need you guys to see what just came in the door. Hi.
That's the end of the video, but it was her showing the man with the blow up doll.
So you knew from the beginning that you was probably gonna get fired. So
she did say she's not supposed to be making TikToks at work. That's not a smart strategy if you want to like fight for the job.
Right. I guess he can pay $213 and go get another 213-hour job.
Now the diner also posted about his date. Mm-hmm.
She was speechless.
My date, his date was speechless. Yes. So yeah, it says she told the Charlotte Observer she knew one or two things was gonna happen. It would get no views and I'll be fine, or it would blow up and I'll be fired. She said she was ready for new opportunities, so it wasn't too much of a shock. Thank goodness. Sort of shocked how viral it went though. My friends' parents were telling me they saw it. The male diner separately posted a TikTok from inside the restaurant that day, including part of Tommy Richmond's $1 Million Baby song in the post. No.
Did the dog cost $1 million?
Oh no, that's so funny.
$1 Million Baby.
This motherfucker on a date with a blow up doll. He out here with that.
Yeah, that's my jam. I don't even know half the words on that song.
No one does.
I just know $1 Million Baby. That's I jump in. That's all I know. The beat go hard.
Been the same, baby. I won't do you wrong.
Hey,
I can clean up good for you. I know right from wrong.
That's all I know.
Nobody know what he's saying.
Okay, I thought I was the only one.
Everybody just making up.
But
shit.
it is a bop. It's my jam.
But that's hilarious that he used that. His name, his handle is Poppy Chulo 2613. And it implied in the comment on the former service video that taking a blow up doll to dinner was punishment for losing a fantasy football league game.
Oh, okay. So that was like if you kind of, I guess, probably had like the worst record. Yeah, that was the end result.
He put tough date. I want to cry. Bro, please. Like he got a thing.
You know, that group chat was lit.
Right.
That's hilarious.
She also posted a follow-up video overlaid by the song Nasty by Tinashe. Text on the video says she didn't have any regrets about the video or her firing. All right, Karen, guess the race of the server in this situation.
A white.
Okay, Karen is saying white. Let's check the chat room to see what they believe.
Did they tell the name of the restaurant or no?
They did not say the name of the restaurant, but they said, oh, wait, no. They did.
They said
RH Rooftop Restaurant in Phillips Place. Yeah, it's super white people spot. I've never gotten to eat there before.
Me either. I never heard of it.
Yeah, we've driven by it. It's over at PF Chang.
In that shopping center? Mm-hmm. They said better than the movie theater?
I believe so. I believe that's where it's at.
Kind of in that general area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Phillips Place. That's where it's at. At any rate, let me check y'all's guesses real quick. White is the doll, White Walker White, didn't give a fuck about the rules, white as they was salty.
That's hilarious.
The correct answer is white.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah, here's her TikTok, I think. Let me see if I can get it to play.
Okay, so I'm not supposed to be making TikToks at work, but
so that's her. And then
this calls for it. I work at a nice restaurant in Charlotte, and I need you guys to see what just came in the door.
That's hilarious.
So, man, but that's hilarious. And then Buddy posting that shit with the $1 Million Baby is just
Chef's kiss. Do you have his video? Did they have his?
His is there, but I don't want to play.
Right. Because it flags.
If I can figure out how to get this on YouTube now that I had to switch to Zoom because Crowdcast had another outage. But all right, so that's it for that. Let's get into sword ratchetness, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up.
Yes, sir.
Been in my city for so damn long, but you don't notice me. In the overnight hours of Monday, June 10th, officers are called to the home of North Powers.
Were they Dalston Powers?
Wait, home off North Powers.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
Is it the cousin of Austin Powers? What's happening here? Any Powers?
Right. North Powers Boulevard, where a sword-wielding suspect showed up to check on the dogs of someone he didn't know, other than from following them on social media.
What?
What? What the fuck? So you saw someone's dogs on social media and was like, I need to check on them. Let me get a sword. Police said around 1:30 a.m. Why are you checking on dogs at 1:30 in the morning?
What is happening?
Even as a crazy person, check on them at a reasonable time.
Right? A normal time.
Even the dogs don't want to be checked on at 1:30 in the morning.
They sleeping. Now, if a cat, different, but not a dog. Dogs asleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Now cats will do anything. You know, they
get the zoomies.
Yeah, cat will just go out there and the cat will have a sword.
You walk up on a cat be like, hey, you want to fight?
Right. The cat will get on social media and tweet some shit at you.
Right.
Here's the article.
Well, developing right now, a man with a sword is accused of showing up at a stranger's house in the Springs and assaulting the homeowner.
CSPD says 43-year-old Nicholas Gleishaw.
Oh no, he did that shit.
Yeah, he looked like if Hugh Jackman really was Wolverine.
Oh no.
Showed up at a home on Harmon Drive around 1:30 Monday morning. Police say Gleishaw only knew the homeowner through social media, and when the homeowner confronted him, police say Gleishaw then assaulted them and then went inside the home. The homeowner does have minor injuries, but there's no word yet on any charges for Gleishaw.
They are lucky as hell he ain't killed him with that sword, man.
Right?
Oh my goodness. Now where are the dogs? Can I pet that dog?
Right. What is happening here?
I only know you through social media, but can I pet that dog? All right, that's it for today. I'll see it. Hopefully y'all get something on YouTube if I figure out how to splice all this shit.
If
together.
not, you will get a video. I mean, you will get audio if you don't get
the audio
else.
is good.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's up with Crowdcast lately.
Nope.
So
reach out to them again.
Until next time, I love you.
I love you too. Mwah.
Bye everybody. Have a good rest of your evening. Boom.